Hello and welcome back to another video, and today we are back with some more 9 Season 2009 here on MotoGP 22. Now if you haven't seen the last couple of episodes, I do recommend you go check those out first because it is sort of a story through the 2009 season, so it makes more sense if you watch it in chronological order. But either way, we are here for the third round of the season at Jerez. So after a short break in Asia, MotoGP returns to Europe with the top 3 of the standings in order: Lorenzo, Rossi and Stoner, all within 3 points of each other. No mistakes are allowed in the fight for the title. So there you go then, the stage is set for Jerez. Let's head into it and see what the first episode is.
The Spanish Grand Prix, Pandemonium in the Andalusian sunshine. Jerez is one of Rossi's favourite tracks. He's won here 7 times, but he's off the pace in qualifying, 4th on the grid. On pole, his teammate, second to Lorenzo by 1,000th of a second, his Spanish rival Dani Pedrosa. Pedrosa is confident after his success in Japan.
I think nobody expected that after 6 months with problems in my knee, not possible riding and always scared, crashing and surgeries in the middle. I just can say thanks to the doctors.
Pedrosa flies off the line. This is what he loves to do, get out in front and go. Rossi's in 4th place behind Lorenzo. If ever there was a time and a place to steal Lorenzo's thunder, this is it. Rossi's passed his teammate on lap 2. Next up, Stoner and Pedrosa.
In that situation, Dani is always very difficult to catch. So I try to stay concentrated, to push. I was able to improve my pace.
Stoner and Pedrosa are both stronger than you expected. The Australian's never gone well at Jerez before, but he's in the fight today. Pedrosa is the real challenge. He's at home and he loves this track. But you know he can't afford to take any risks. You can now. Go for it.
So here we are then, playing with Rossi, and we need to get Stoner. We'll pass him before the second lap of the challenge apparently, which if we play our cards right, we should be able to do. Jerez is quite a good circuit for the player usually, as we know. This could take me a little bit of time to get used to 800s once again. I'm going to probably say that every single time we do these 9 episodes. And that was a pretty big crash there. So note to self, watch that curb on the outside because it will absolutely fling you off into oblivion. But like I was saying, I do need to get back used to these bikes again. Obviously no engine braking or anything like that. I play Moto 3 a lot, although I was playing the modern bikes earlier, so it shouldn't be such a big jump as it is usually from the Moto 3 bikes to these. But we are all over the back of Stoner here. We might be able to get him down towards the Dani Pedrosa corner, actually, although he had a great run through turn 4, to be honest, much better than I was expecting. We go through Cito Ponds, I'm wide through Cito Ponds, very wide in fact. Might allow Lorenzo through, even though Lorenzo's a second behind, so that's fine. But I was trying to sort of set up a move down, Stoner down towards the Pedrosa corner. But sadly, I couldn't do it, although Stoner's actually catching up to Pedrosa himself, so there could be some fireworks for the AI in front. Well, we're certainly not going to pass him before the second lap of the challenge, because we're about to start our lap now. To be honest, it's going to be tough to catch him at all at this rate. Stoner's all over Pedrosa. We go down towards the Dani Pedrosa corner. But he's not close enough to make a pass, and I'm not close enough to make a pass either. I think we are running out of time here. Oh, we're so close together, the 3 of us. If I can do this fast stuff right, I might have a chance at beating Stoner here. Which I've not really done as we go down towards the last corner. Closes up to him as much as I possibly could. We've all gone very wide. But wasn't enough. Wasn't enough. We're going to fail. So then, that's 2 episodes in a row that we couldn't achieve it first time, although we did have the crash, so that's actually the second time, so I'll give that one another go. Hopefully we can actually do it a bit quicker this time, because I was closing on him by the end, so this time if I do it again, I should be able to pass him straight away. So this time we're right on the back of Stoner immediately. So we go down towards turn 2. No, we're not going to make the pass this early, surely. Stoner, I think, is going to start the position. Actually cost me quite a bit there. But the door was open, I had to give it a go. Stoner clips the curb. The AI can crash there on the curb. Still happens on this game, so that might happen at some point in this episode. Try and get the run out of the Cito Pons corner. I've actually done that very nicely. They break quite early down towards Dani Pedrosa, so I might be able to make a pass here. I suppose we should call it dry sack since it is 2009. We've made the pass, we've ran wide. I think that's it. I don't think we're going to be able to get in for the end of this lap now. But at least we've still got one more. We're not going to get that secondary objective. It's down towards the last corner again. We're closing on Stoner. We actually made the pass this time. Almost hitting Pedrosa at the back. Come on, can we get the power? Oh, I was just desperate to try and get in before the end of this lap just to get that extra objective. Because I found that we're actually, in a lot of these, we're actually missing the secondary objective. We're not managing to do it. That time I've gone way too hot into turn 1. Oh, Pedrosa was really wiggling into the Dani Pedrosa corner there. Stoner's actually going to overtake him by the looks of it. Which, if he does that, that makes it borderline impossible for me to do, because I'll have to pass both of them. Down towards the last corner again. This time we're really going for it on Stoner. We've absolutely bashed him out the way there, but we've got it. We've got the position. I really didn't want to have to do that one again, so glad we just managed to mug him at that final turn. It was a bit dirty, but we just managed to do it. So I'll tell you what, these challenges are definitely getting harder and harder. The Qatar ones probably were the easiest ones, and Motegi was pretty difficult. This was quite hard as well, but I think it's just because in Qatar, the first one, I just had to beat somebody, and it's much easier to keep an ally behind than it is to make a pass when you're struggling. So I think that's the problem here. But we've done the first part of the Rossi episode. This is actually a 2-part episode, so we'll head into the next part now. I think we'll probably have to overtake Pedrosa. Yeah, so we're looking back from Pedrosa now, looking at on board with Valentino. And Pedrosa's now got actually a bigger gap than he just had just then, so that's a shame. Now I've got to go and hunt him down. We're right behind him at the end of that other challenge. We're much further into the race though now. You can see we've got over 3 seconds to Stoner. So we need to hunt down Dani. So we've got to pass him and then gap him by half a second. We only have 2 laps of this challenge. And we're already halfway around the first one. So I've got half a lap to catch 1.3, pass him and then put half a second into him. How am I even supposed to do that? I reckon this is going to be another one of those challenges where we have to try it a few times, because that is a huge gap to try and catch up. We're just running super wide. So that doesn't help out at all. I think I've lost time from that. We're over a second behind him now. I've got to catch, pass and put half a second into him on this lap. That's just not happening, is it? And we're not stopping for turn 1 either. That's not happening. Well, it does seem like he is slow. Oh yeah, he broke very early there, so it seems like he probably has got massive tyre issues, so that's probably why it's such a big thing to do. We've done half the gap already, so maybe it's possible. So coming down towards the Dani Pedrosa corner, closing up on Dani Pedrosa. We are right on the back of him now, to be fair, so if we can try and make a pass in this last sector, it might be similar to last time, be making a very aggressive move. Down towards the last corner, we're closing way too much onto the back of Dani. We've just absolutely hit him at the back. I can't take that. Well, I didn't overtake him anyway. We completely misjudged that one. So once again, we failed one. We've got to give this one another try. Now I know what to expect on this one. It probably won't be as bad because I made some mistakes last time thinking I was going to have to make a massive gap. I was pushing way too hard when really, I know he hemorrhages a lot of time. So I've not got to worry too much. If I just ride fairly clean, I should be alright. It's already down to 8 tenths. So coming out the last corner, we're about 4 tenths behind him, whereas this time on the last one we're a good second back, so 6 tenths closer. That should put us in a position to make a pass on him at some point. I've gone into the first corner though. Actually, no I've not, but we might be able to get him into turn 2 then because of that. Because of how close we are to him. Up the inside we go into Dunlop. Oh sorry, Michelin. Don't know why I was thinking it was called Dunlop, I was getting a bit confused there. I knew it was a tyre manufacturer, I couldn't remember which one. Around the outside, there we go. We're up into the lead of this race, so that's what I mean. If I didn't make the mistakes in the last time, I probably could have done it. Because we overtook him immediately, although he's coming back towards us. Towards the Cito Pons corner. I'm a bit wide, he might come underneath me actually. He's tried it. Because we do know they get good drive down here. He's getting a lot of wheelies. You do get a lot of wheelies with these 800s. They are an absolute handful. We've ran a little bit wide through Dani Pedrosa. But that's not allowed Dani Pedrosa through, fortunately. Through the penultimate turn. Down to the final one. I feel like he was quicker once he actually got behind us, to be honest. It's been hard to shake him. We put half second in there. No way. Oh, okay, I was going to say no way we've gained enough time to that last corner. He gained a lot of it back up towards the line then. It's going to be just over 3 tenths of a second, so not half a second sadly. But at least we passed one of the objectives. But I tell you, these are getting harder and harder. That's for sure. I reckon we need to have probably an episode, or maybe even 2, at some point going through and trying to get the secondary objectives. Maybe once we've completed the whole series, I'll go back through and try and get all the secondary objectives I've missed, because I've missed quite a lot of them at this point. So that's the Rossi episode done now then. There's only 2 episodes actually in this part, so going on to the final bit. Not sure what we're going to play as this time, but I imagine it's probably a bit longer because otherwise this would be quite a short race.
As Stoner pushes his bike to the limit to stay ahead of Lorenzo, he finds himself fighting to keep the thing on 2 wheels.
Jorge started to catch me, so I thought, I'd dig in, I'd try a little bit harder for those last laps. I lost the front a lot of times and was lucky enough to save him, and hopefully in the future races we don't have to push quite so hard as this.
He's getting closer every lap. You can hear him behind you. Keep him there. He's on the edge. So are you. Somebody's going to end up on the ground. Him or you.
So then, we actually are back on the Ducati once again, and this time the challenge should be much easier because both the objectives are the same by the looks of it. It says resist Lorenzo's attacks and don't get past. So I guess don't get past means don't get past at all, probably. But I imagine if you're resisting his attacks, really, you're probably going to not get overtaken. But we'll see. He's already took a couple tenths out of me. The tyres are pretty worn on this bike. But I did quite like it when I played it in Qatar, this Ducati. So we'll have to see what it's like here. Ran massively wide there. I don't know whether that was my mistake or just me not being used to the Ducati. But I'm saying that the Yamaha probably actually is better than the Ducati now, after jumping off of it. But it might be the tyre wear, to be honest. Obviously, the tyres are pretty worn. Lorenzo's only 1.3 behind now as well, so he's closing. I'm getting more used to it after doing the rest of that lap, and I've got to say, it's quite nice. Managed to put the gap back out to him to some extent, but they're quite good through the first sector, really. So he's going to catch me a little bit through there. And the last sector, they're also very good, but the last corner, they lose a lot of time. So I should be able to just sort of maybe try and pull away in sectors 2 and 3, and sort of neutralise sector 4. I can actually see why I like the Ducati, though, in the last one. Because I did make a judgment pretty quick based on the fact I ran wide at dry sack, but on this occasion I didn't run wide at dry sack, and I do feel like this bike is more nimble, which is really strange, because you'd think the Yamaha would be the bike that would be sort of better around the corners and easier to ride, but I feel as though this bike is lighter, and actually I can sort of move it around a bit easier. Although Lorenzo is keeping me honest, we have got extremely worn tyres, there's not a lot of grip underneath this bike. Fast up of the race to myself, I've broke way too early for the first corner, so that's not going to help me out at all. What's been a crash? Oh, Lorenzo's gone down, so we've definitely done the challenge now. Well, he's still in 4th, that's how far in front they are. So, he's now 7 seconds behind me, so I should be fine. But I was pulling away from him anyway, but he's had a crash. It's a bit of a shame, but that's just the AI. And these challenges, they do seem to crash quite a lot on the curbs. And that probably is a testament to the fact the curbs are a bit dodgy, but also the AI are just quite flawed in that they sort of just clip the curbs on the inside way too much. Oh, there's been now another crash from my Landry. We're on the final lap of this challenge. This one wasn't really as good, to be honest, because all I had to do was just keep in front of Lorenzo, and I had 2 seconds on him already, so he wasn't really harassing me, so I could just take my own lines, and then he ended up crashing anyway. So yeah, this one, it was a bit easier again. I've said some of them have been a bit harder the last couple of episodes, but this one was definitely a bit easier again. Although I'm saying I do actually quite like the Ducati. I don't know again whether it's because we're on a lower fuel load, but the tyres are pretty worn, and the bike actually does feel pretty good. I don't know what lap times I was doing when I was playing as Rossi before. I have to have a look, but I feel like I make the lap time a bit easier on this bike. Maybe it just suits my style, but if you guys have played the 800 bikes, let me know which one's your favourite. Because I said that I really didn't like the Honda, but when I spoke to Dylan about it, he really did like the Honda, so everyone's got their own preferences. I think the Ducati so far is definitely the best one. So coming through the final turn then, we've completed Stoner's episode on the first attempt, but it was really easy, so that's why we did it. But there we go then, that's Jerez complete. We got both objectives on this one as well, which is not something I've done for a while. Like I was saying earlier on in the episode, I probably will do an episode at some point and go back and try and do all of the secondary objectives, because I need to do them to unlock the extra riders, because I'm missing a few riders from the other races that I haven't unlocked yet, because you have to go through the whole 9 season 2009 to unlock all the 2009 riders. So yeah, that was pretty enjoyable, so I hope you guys did enjoy that one. The last episode wasn't quite as good there, but the first part was pretty good with Valentino Rossi, and this one probably would have been a bit better if Lorenzo didn't crash, but I think I had him neutralised anyway. But like I said, I hope you did enjoy that one. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Hope you're staying safe, and I shall see you in the next one.